Dear CEOs and industry leaders, you are most graciously welcome to Akul Mac Business Bunker. This is a forum where you are able to showcase your products to the masses, to the investor, to the prospects, and to your client. And if you want to promote your company and yourself, you have landed at the right place. Before we continue, do like and subscribe our channel. Hello, friends. Welcome to Akul Mac Business Bunker. Today is Friday, and you can connect with us using this link. Just using your mobile phone camera, point towards this QR code, and you will be instantly connected with us. At the same time, uh, you can also uh, follow the caption. I'm actually trying to show it to you here. You can actually go to the messaging of your social media. The link to join live is also mentioned in the message box of your social media. And as you already know, we are live across all social media platforms. And I graciously welcome you. My name is Chandrakant. I am the host of this event. And this is a weekly event. We actually have lot of leaders joining this event, which basically help a B2B interaction between a lot of leaders. They get to know each other while the show is on, and there is a lot of discussion around setting up synergies between businesses. So our show basically create a B2B scenario. At the same time, we are live across 6 social media platforms, and therefore if people who are watching the leaders talking about their USPs and offerings, they can actually see and express interest. And the best part is, since we are live on the social media, anyone who wants to ask a question or express opinion can use the chat function which is present in the social media platform, whether it is LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, etc. And you can directly send us the message. We will read your message and answer your question straight away. So this is a brief about Akul Mac Business Bunker. And if you want to join our show live with your mic and camera, follow the link given in the message box in your social media. You will also find the link to join our show in the description below. So let us kickstart our discussion, and let me invite our guest. We have one guest who has joined. I think let me invite her, and her name is Kanchan, and she is joining us from India. Kanchan, welcome to the show, and please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello, Chandrakant and everybody. My name is Khan. I'm heading organization. We are in branding. We are into, we do a lot of advertisement in terms of brand building. So anybody who's interested in this arena, please contact us and take advantage of.
To the show, Kanchan. And we have one more participant. Let me invite this participant also. Although his name is Jasser, I am not sure his camera is not on. So, Jasser, if you can hear me, so we will wait for Jasser to switch on his camera and mic, and we will return to our discussion. And as you know, Kanchan, we had conducted a very grand one week about the leadership quality of a CEO, and the question asked was whether CEO must have uh, what is the characteristic, what is the core characteristic of a CEO. So since a lot of startups and a lot of people leaders are now trying their hands on starting new things, so what are the important characteristics, and we identified that there were two characteristics which are having the good standards of their offerings and the good standards of the company ethics, etc., or attitude. Well, majority of the people, as you can see in survey, replied that both are important. The quality has to be maintained for any company. At the same time, the attitude, which is the winning attitude of the CEO, is also very important. So, as you can see in this survey, 62% people said that both are important. Yet, there are few people who said nearly about 20. Uh, they said that standards are important, more important than having the right attitude. Or other 20% said that well, right attitude is the winning attitude, and that is the most important. So I think this is the discussion of our for our show today, and I will keep coming back on this survey result. Very interesting because uh, there's a lot of confusion about how a CEO must his organization, whether to focus more on producing high quality offerings, or by ignoring the team, not having right attitude, only master type attitude, or having the right attitude but not focusing on the standards of the offering. What is more important? So over to you, Kanchan. What do you think about this very important subject? Kanchan, I'm not able to hear your voice. Maybe your mic. Your voice is not reaching me, Kanchan. Anyway, I think while the technical issues are sorted out, let me take this discussion forward. And you can chat if you have any opinion or suggestions, any questions. You can send in your chat message. The chat lines are open, and you are watching us on 6 social media platforms right now. We are streaming live across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, uh, Koo, and a few others. And the link to join us live, just in case if you is also mentioned in the message box. So you can with us. So there is interactivity in our show today. Moving on, you can also find the link to join with your camera and mic in your message again. So there are two ways you can interact. You can send in your comments using the message feature of a social media, or the link to join live with your mind camera is also provided in the message box, also in the description below. So moving on, I do not know whether Kanchan's mic problem is sorted out. Kanchan, can you hear me? I am not able to hear you, Kanchan. So maybe remove the microphone and see if it works, or connect, do something there. Where, after removing your microphone, maybe it will work. All right. So I think let's continue with our discussion. So I think the mood point of today's discussion is about uh, what is more important, maintaining standards or maintaining a good attitude for your company. And as you can see in the survey, that majority of the people say that CEO has a leader has to have both qualities in order to successfully run their enterprise, their organizations, whether you are running a startup or a small medium enterprise or even a large publicly listed company. The leadership quality along with focus on producing, churning out more quality from your organization is important for the success of not only your company, your success as well as your team success. So let's check out if Kanchan is able to join back. But I think my 2 cents on this subject is that uh, let me talk about the attitude, because I think the next one is a no brainer. We have to have a quality product, because if you don't have quality coming out from our company, then the customers will not see a value in buying our product. But I think let me talk about the attitude. You see, what happens is there are two kinds of bosses we have. One is who always look at very authoritative approach in their day-to-day activity. They want to start everyone on time, and everybody has to be on time, and they have to deliver on time. And if somebody is having a cup of coffee, then those kind of things are not like during work hours. So this kind of bosses are very taskmaster type. They want to treat their team with a heavy hand, and they want to ensure that people are always busy and basically giving the worth of salt for which they are employed all the time. And therefore the attitude gets little beating in this, simply because when people, when they are working as because ultimately your team is your team, and team has to be motivated. And once you train a person, and you come across you have come across a person who has been trained and fully absorbed in the company, and then because of your attitude you're not able to retain that person, because if the attitude is not good, the person may like to move out and go to a place, some other company where he finds more comfortable. So I think the attitude plays a major role in stitching together your team. At the same time, inculcating positive habits within the team, because most of the time what happens is that the organization consists of multiple teams. There are multiple teams who have to not only do their work which has been assigned to a team, but they also need to collaborate with other teams in order to churn out the product offerings of the organization. So it's not only having positive attitude, but also attitude of working together. And that is why the CEO has the prime responsibility of ensuring that there is a good working environment, there is polite nature among employees, there is clear communication, and those kind of things. And it starts from the top. So if the CEO set up his organization, which consists of rude people, because he himself is rude, then the entire organization will be rude, and people who are there will not be able to work comfortably there. So I think that is my opening remark. Let me check if Kanchan is able to solve her technical problem, inviting her back into the discussion. Not able to see you, Kanchan. I don't know whether you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice, Kanchan? Okay, so there is a technical problem, and because of which Kanchan is not able to provide her comments, valuable comments to us today. So we were talking about the right attitude, and having the right attitude is so important. In fact, I would say that a right attitude requires. There are certain leaders who are born leaders, and they actually come up with the right attitude, or they probably learn the right attitude. But not everybody will be able to have the right attitude to run a organization. There could be many issues because of that. There could be the issues which is because of the surroundings, upbringing, and experience, and so on and so forth, and also the type of friends you carry. So because of which the the attitude of a human being is developed. But it doesn't mean that you cannot change yourself. You can always change, and you can also undergo certain attitude development classes, and there are so many different types of program which can help you inculcate the right attitude. So I think that that's the first thing. Whenever you are running an organization, in fact, all the seasoned leaders know that how important it is to have the right attitude in order to basically get the right results out of the team, and the team is motivated. So what are the characteristic of having the right attitude? uh, the characteristic of having the right attitude is basically you should not have a very reactive kind of an approach. You should always listen to your team feedback, and don't jump on them for giving you some sort of a negative news also. So because team is always working in the field, and they're always close to the customer, so just in case if there are some suggestions given by the team, you should have an open mind to listen to their feedback, because you may be a senior person in the organization, and you may have a feeling that you know best how the company has to progress further. You have a roadmap in front of you, but at the same time you are dependent on your team, and therefore you cannot have an attitude to ignore the feedback of your team. So Kanchan, I don't know whether you can hear me, but you have an opinion on the subject that we are discussing today. So I think we are still having some bandwidth issue with Kanchan. Uh, so I was talking about the attitude itself. There could be instances where you listen to everybody, but you take action on only few of the requests, and that creates a bias. So you have to ensure that there is no bias. So when I talk about attitude, and when you want to take the team together in terms of basically making sure that everybody is on the same page. So being liberal, having a liberal organization in your company is also very very important, because you cannot have you cannot have a confusion between your teammates, and because that will give rise to a lot of politics. So when you build your organization, or when you build your personality itself, because your personality, the way you have defined the rules and regulation in your company, will determine how the team will perform. So when you create these kind of things in your organization, that means building this positivity where there is an open culture. When 10 people suggest a solution to a big problem, there could be a consensus driven approach, which is led by the leader itself. So I think the attitude plays a major role in development of a leader, and also success of the company. This is my feeling. Now let's come back to the subject about the standards. Of course, standards are very, very important, and therefore you cannot ignore the importance of churning out good quality products, or good quality service, timely service from your organization. And since you are the CEO of the company, you have to ensure that the practice of producing a good quality offerings must be in place before you start selling that to customer, because even one mistake in that department, the customer will be lost forever, because then customer may feel that you are not a good service provider, you are not a good manufacturer, and they will stop buying your offerings. So, well, to become a CEO is easy, but to become a successful CEO is rather tough. You can imagine that you have to have the right attitude in terms of building a team, because if you don't know how to build a team, then you can't be running around on the floor and doing everything, starting from finance to sales to general operations, and also manufacturing, also doing different kind of projections to the investors, etc. You definitely need a team to run your company, and therefore the right attitude. At the same time, you also need to focus on churning out quality, and therefore your subject matter expertise is also important. So while you build your attitude, right attitude, you also need to build the subject matter expertise in that field of business. And if you don't have that expertise, many people say that, hey, if I don't have the expertise, simple, I will hire the person who has the expertise. I will just pay whatever his cost is, and therefore I will become expert. But it's quite tough to control the organization the way, ideal organization the way you want to control. So you should have little bit subject matter expertise of your own also, because if if a problem comes, then you should be able to at least understand as a problem, and you're not dependent on the mercy of somebody who's telling you that such and such thing has happened, and because of which the quality is getting affected. So therefore you should have little bit subject matter expertise of your company or the nature of business, etc. You should I've seen people who basically hire smart salespeople, and I've seen people, especially at the in the leadership levels, they don't even go and meet their clients. And of course they are the leader of the company, but they feel that since I've hired these smart sales guys, it is the job of the sales guys to go and meet the client. No, I think being a CEO, you have to wear that hat of meeting your client regularly, because that is also one of the activities. So similarly, when you meet the client will have different kinds of report. Some clients may say that, hey, I'm very satisfied with your company, your people, your offerings, and other clients will say, I'm not satisfied and are the drawbacks, and I want you to fix those drawbacks. So if you are a subject matter expert in that arena, you will be able to handle that situation pretty well. You will be able to understand what the expectation of the client is, whether these are good expectations, or these are too much that client is expecting. So but if you don't have the SME knowledge within you during that discussion, you will again have to say that, hey, let me meet you again. I will bring an expert, and then we will solve that problem. So I think both departments of having the high standards and also having the right attitude for a CEO, for a leader, for anybody for that matter, is very, very important. So my advice would be to tell people that you should always have ability to learn new things. You should have the ability to be flexible, so that you have a better attitude towards others. And since you are growing in life also, whenever, say for example, somebody starts a career, they will eventually keep growing in life. So when they keep growing in life, their attitude also has to be more a blended type of attitude, so that they can handle multiple situations, they can handle multiple types of people, they can also handle the requirement of different team members, uh, personal needs of individuals, personal needs of clients sometimes, and also maintaining quality, which will also increase the brand value of your organization. So all departments are very important. All departments of a company are important. S- and you cannot afford to ignore the right attitude, or developing good quality products from your company, because these are absolutely essential. So, friends, unfortunately, Kanchan tried to join in, but she could not because of the technical problem. We will evaluate what was the problem. And we have come to the end of the discussion. I'd like to share the survey results once more. And you can see that most of the people have said that standards and attitude, positive attitude, is absolutely important for running the right organization. So, if you have any question, you can send me the questions via the messaging service, and we will again catch up next Friday. Uh, and this is the Akul Mac Business Bunker, which allows B2C, C2B, and B2B networking live across all social media platforms. So for today, I like to say goodbye, only to catch you again in the next one.